Hello, my name is AJ, and I will be taking you through the potential of using augmented reality in learning. How our educational system is currently set up does not promote the teaching of applicable skills that students need for their jobs and daily lives. I'll explain how using augmented reality could change that by diving into how AR can play a factor in learning and what possible learning benefits are associated with it. To do this, we need a little bit of a background into some key concepts that will be important for discussing the potential of AR in learning. First, we can start with what is augmented reality? A direct definition given by Zachary Walker describes AR as an overlay of digital information on top of the physical world to create an interactive space where users can explore, discover, interact, and learn. This is all part of what is known as the mixed reality spectrum, which ranges from reality in our physical world to reality in a fully digitized world. Along the spectrum, there are real environment, augmented reality, augmented virtual reality, and a virtual environment. As you move along the spectrum from a real environment to a virtual environment, you move farther away from the real world as we experience it in our own daily lives. AR is the first step away from real environment towards a virtual environment and offers a mix of both virtual and real elements. The big difference between AR and VR is that AR is built upon the real world. Philip Rochnable describes AR as not being closed off from reality, but melds real and virtual worlds together. The key to any great learning environment is the motivation to learn. Malone and Lepper discussed 4 contributing factors of intrinsic motivation, which are challenge, curiosity, control, and fantasy. Challenge has to do with goal setting and having to face tough obstacles in the way of accomplishing the goal. A great learning environment makes the challenge meaningful to the student, which pushes them on to want to learn the material and overcome what stands in their way. Second is curiosity. A subsection of curiosity is sensory curiosity, which involves the variations to the senses of the student. When the learning environment acts as a stimulus to the learner's senses, it is sure to spark the curiosity and thus engagement of the learner to learn the material at hand. The third factor is control. When a learner has control of the environment and the outcome, or at least have the perception of control, the learner is more likely to stay motivated to learn. Lastly, there is the fantasy factor. Enabling the learner's minds to run free and giving space to the learner's imaginations are contributing factors in creating a full learning experience where learners want to engage with the material. So now, how has AR been used for educational purposes? One great example of this is AR basketball. A digital basketball is placed on students' mobile devices, which they shoot into an AR basketball hoop. Students play several rounds of basketball to accumulate scores, and these scores can be used to teach many math concepts, including mean and median. The game captures many of the intrinsically motivating factors that Malone and Lepper mentioned. The game brings a challenge to the students to try to achieve the highest scores possible. Their curiosities are sparked as they are playing an AR game in school. Students will be more interested in working with the numbers because they were in control of producing them, and the AR model provides the fantasy value for students to use their imaginations while playing the game. Another example is called Anatomy 4D, which enables students to get different angles for observations of the several different systems within the human body. This provides students with an engaging platform that teaches students more than what a simple page on a book can do. Not only is it more fun for the students, but it provides them with a better understanding of the human body as they can go in more depth with the material and play around with it themselves in an entertaining format. The biggest surge in the possibilities of AR technology being implemented in places such as education came from the explosion of Pokemon Go into the mobile marketplace. After its release in 2016, it has made it to the top of the App Store and is still played by many today. The game encouraged players to go outside and travel to places, whether it be a Pokestop or gym, through the use of AR technology. The promotion of physical activity was and still is big for Pokemon Go. The game itself is easy to learn as you encounter Pokemon as you walk around in the real world. The goal is to catch the best ones and use them to battle gyms and fight for your team. While it is simple in design, the game is difficult to master as it takes a lot of time to build a team. With so many directions that the player can take, there is almost infinite ways which the player can play the game. is an addicting experience that players keep going back to because of the intrinsic value of becoming the best. And while players keep playing the game, they will continue to absorb all the benefits that come through this AR game. Now moving on into the benefits that can be obtained from Pokemon Go. One benefit is the development of hand-eye coordination. The player has to physically fling the Pokeballs to catch the Pokemon that appear on their screen. As the Pokemon tries to deflect and avoid being caught, it is up to the player to accurately perform the art of capturing it. Timing and accuracy are crucial, which the player will continue to improve upon as they play through the game. Secondly, there is the benefit of developing problem-solving skills. How players tackle the game will determine what they get from it. They will learn how to solve the problems presented in the game, such as building and capturing a team and using the supplies they have collected over time. Another benefit is resilience, as it will take long amounts of time for players to achieve their goals. Playing through the challenges presented teaches players resilience. Players also learn metacognition and finding which strategies work best for them within the game. There are several ways of developing a team, but you only get 6 slots for Pokemon to battle with. Creating a team takes strategy, which the player works on throughout the game. There is also a sense of community that builds throughout the game. Teamwork is crucial with raids, and people learn from each other when putting together their team. Also, social interactions happen at Pokestops and gym. The social value of Pokemon Go can be huge for those that need it. Players learn to compete against others in battle and for gyms. Players prepare for battle and set their heads towards the goal of conquering the Pokemon world. Imagination is yet another benefit, as the blend that AR gives between the Pokemon world and the real world encourages players to use their imaginations to link the two together through AR technology. Exercise is yet another benefit, as students need exercise to stay healthy. AR functionality promotes movement and interaction, which gets players moving around. The unique aspect of Pokemon Go is that players have to move around to improve their team. And while players are traveling around, they encounter history and culture at Pokestops and gyms, which encourage players to explore some topics they may have never been exposed to before. So now we have explored what AR is, some key concepts involved in motivational theory, some examples of AR in education, and also the massive explosion of Pokemon Go, including the benefits seen from playing the game. So now we have set the table to explore just how AR can be used in educational settings and look at some benefits of doing so. Eric Klopfer did some research to look into if AR in education can be a reality. He proposed a solution to the development of AR uses in educational settings with the use of a design platform that was split into 6 stages, being brainstorming, design, development, field trials, classroom implementations, and platform design. Beginning with brainstorming, here developers construct the ideas to teach and the ways to teach them. Good learning games stick to the core of what is to be taught, so these ideas need to be brainstormed ahead of time. Next is the design stage, where developers would begin to envision how the ideas can be taught within a game. By receiving advice from experts, the developers can begin to interweave their design to teach the educational material within the game. The third part is developing the mechanics of the game and creating a prototype that can be tested by actual players and refined to make the overall experience the best that it can be. The fourth stage is testing it within the classroom setting, where students can test out the software and see if it functions correctly. Since the goal of the game is to be used by students, receiving their feedback is critical in reworking the design. The next stage is implementing the software into the classroom and examining how students and teachers use it. Using the data collected from the stage, the developers can make final improvements that will be necessary to make the game final and in the best shape possible for actual classroom use. Once fully tested and ready to be used, the data collected can be used for future games in development. Developers can learn what works and what does not, which will improve AR educational games over time. Through using this design platform systems, games can be rapidly built and tested in the community in which they will be used. The system is built to create a beginning for AR in education, and the quality will improve year after year. As for the benefits associated with AR in education, Philip Rochnable discussed the 3 types of benefits associated with AR in learning. The 3 are hedonic, emotional, and social benefits. He further breaks down hedonic benefits into enjoyment, physical activity, and flow. Games are fun and are a way to reduce boredom. As students learn the best when they are engaged, AR games are a way in which students can be both engaged and learn in the same context. AR games also promote physical activity, as I discussed with Pokemon Go as an example. AR connects the physical world to the virtual world and requires the students to be the connector of the two in the activities they do. The health benefits from the physical activities of AR are a strong motivator for students to become engaged. Flow is defined as the holistic experience that people feel when they act with total involvement. AR games are designed to be interactive, challenging, and new for players, which is a major draw to the games, and thus a draw to learning. The intrinsic draw to the games is big for encouraging students to want to learn. Next, Rochnabel proposes an emotional benefit to AR games in education. Most students associate games with fun, and for older students, there can be an association between games and, quote, the good old days. The emotional attachment to games makes bringing AR into education an enjoyable experience for students who are more likely to want to learn the material. Lastly, there is the social benefit. Having fun with friends on the games will foster better relationships between students, which makes the learning environment better suited for learning. Instead of in a normal classroom that not many students want to be in, an AR educational setting will be one where students can have fun and enjoy their time in the classroom around other students. This enjoyment makes learning better as it provides more motivation to want to learn. It is the combination of all of these benefits that play directly into the motivational theory that I discussed earlier. All of these benefits are ways to keep students intrinsically motivated to want to learn, which is all made possible with the addition of AR into the classroom. To conclude, the benefits surrounding AR, as seen in the example of Pokemon Go and Rochnabel's research, would be an incredible change to our current educational system. This new look would capture the intrinsic motivating factors that Malone and Lepper studied and provide an all-around, better learning environment for students. By using Eric Klopfer's design platform, AR could be implemented into schools rapidly and to be tested and critiqued to eventually make AR the new normal in schools and unleash all of its benefits on the students. Thank you for taking the time to listen to the possibility of AR in education, and I hope you have a great day.